Okay, pointers. So we are going to start our first project for ceramics class. And what we are going to do is make a tile that deals with texture and pattern. And it's a good starting assignment so that you kind of learn the tactileness of the clay, how to crosshatch and slip and join pieces of clay together, how to impress objects into the clay to create different designs and impressions. Just a good overall assignment for the start. So what we're going to do to begin the assignment is some sketches so that we can create a design to put on our tile. So I wrote this out here. Hopefully you can see it. So what we're going to do is draw 20 to 25 little squares, and I'll show you that here in a minute. And in each one of those squares, we're going to use 5 lines to break up the space in the square into small, medium, and large shapes. We don't want everything to be the same size. We want to have a variety. So our 5 lines can be a combination of 2 straight and 3 curved lines, or they can be a combination of 3 straight and 2 curved lines. We want our lines to touch each other and to touch the edges of our square, but we don't want them to intersect or cross over. If they intersect and cross over, it starts to break the space up into too many little pieces, and then it gets complicated. The lines that you draw, if you draw them on an angle, it'll make your design of your tile more dynamic or dramatic. Angles create more movement when your eye looks at something. If it's just straight up and down or side to side, it's not as interesting. So if you can put things on an angle, it creates more movement. You can do this with a pen or a pencil. There is no wrong in this. Anything you do is fine. It's all practice. It's all sketching for the start of the project. Just remember, we're not trying to create a picture. You're not trying to do a sunset or mountains or a road or a street or anything like that. You're just trying to break up the space into small, medium, and large shapes. Okay? You can use any type of paper that you want. I've got this little sketchbook. I've been using it for years. So I am going to continue using it, and all I'd like you to do, I hope the camera can see this and my hand doesn't block things, is draw out 20 to 25 little squares. They don't have to be perfect, just somewhat square, close enough, and try to leave a little space in between them so that you can see your designs. You don't want to put them right up next to each other because then they tend to look a little confusing. So you're just going to draw out. You'll fill up your whole page, 2 pages, whatever it takes, making 20 to 25 little squares. So now we're going to use our combination of 5 lines. So if I start off with a straight line, and if I want to put it straight up and down, I can go at an angle, a diagonal, whatever works best. Like I say, there's no right or wrong. We're all just working on this and experimenting and trying to come up with nice designs so that we break up the space in the square to small, medium, and large shapes. So I'm going to start off with a line on an angle or a diagonal. And I might repeat that and go again at the same. And then now I can either make one more straight line or 2 curved lines. So I'm going to go ahead and make one more angled line, and then I'm going to do a curved line. And again, the lines are touching all the edges, or they're going to touch each other. So I'm going to make a curve that comes across like this, and then I'm going to have it appear that it goes behind it and have it come down like this. So I've used 5 lines, and hopefully I have some small shapes, some medium-sized shapes, and some large shapes within the square. Again, there's no right or wrong. We just play with it and experiment and continue going. For the next one, I might decide that I'm going to do a big curve. And I might decide that I want to try and mimic that curve here. And then I can either go with a third curved line or I can do 3 straight lines. Like I say, there's no right or wrong. So what I might do is just figure out where I can have a straight line come across. Maybe if I have it come behind over here, that's 1, that's 2, and maybe I'll do a third straight line down here. So again, I'm trying to make some small, some medium size, and some large shaped areas within my square. And I'm just going to continue doing this and filling up my paper, doing 20 to 25 little squares. And again, take your time. It's nothing that you have to rush over. Try to get variety so that they don't come up looking the same. And again, there's no right or wrong. If you do one and you don't like it, or all the shapes tend to look the same size, then on the next one, just be aware of that and try to alter or change your lines so that you have a variety of shapes. A couple things I've had students ask in the past, can they do like say a spiral in it? Well, the problem with doing a spiral is it's not connecting to anything. So if you decide that you want to do something like a spiral, have it start somewhere and then have it spiral in. And maybe that counts as one line. And then maybe your second line comes out around like this so that your spiral is connecting to something. Okay? If it's just spiraling and it's got loose ends, you're not creating a space. I tend to stay away from spirals because I just think it starts to fill up the space and make it kind of complicated. Because that's just 2 lines if I do it that way. I still have to put 3 other lines somewhere and say 1, 2, 3. Okay? So I do have some small, medium, and large shapes in there. But sometimes I think trying to do circles and spirals make it a little complicated. So again, experiment with it, see what you can come up with, do 20 to 25 of those, and then once you do that, we'll go ahead and proceed to what we're going to do next.